Hi guys, how are you all doing? I hope all of you are doing well and are safe with your families at home. Well, this here is the MG Hector Plus. It's a car which offers you 6 seats instead of 5. It's longer than the regular version of the Hector. It's also slightly wider than some of its main rivals, but we'll talk about those things later. From the front end, I think this car looks really stylish. Of course, now you get this huge grille which separates it from the regular version of the Hector, and I think this car really does look stylish. Even the regular Hector looks very nice, but this one definitely has that swag quotient, that cool quotient, and people will turn their heads when they see this car on the road. It really has a lot of road presence as well. In terms of the styling, I think no other 6-seat or 7-seat MPV can truly match the cool looks of the SUV that is the Hector Plus, and I think a lot of people will buy this car just because of the looks, but the looks aren't really the winning point of this car. There are lots of other features, lots of other things which really need to be talked about. And first of all, we'll jump inside the car, show you the interiors, tell you what are the big differences compared to the regular version of the Hector, and also show you some cool features inside this cabin. So let's get started, jump inside the car and tell you what's all new with the MG Hector Plus. Well, so I've already told you about the Budmo app, and Budmo is the best place to buy your spare parts from. They are the experts on spare parts, online experts on spare parts. But did you know that you can even use the app and use your voice commands? Yes, you can search for stuff by simply opening the app and saying things like, find me front bumper for Maruti Alto. And once you do that, it might take a couple of seconds for the network to check, and once you do that, you get the entire list of the models, the variants, and then finally you can choose whichever one you want. So try it out. It's a great app. It's very easy to use. The voice enabled commands are very hassle-free to operate, and I recommend budmo.com for all your spare part needs because they promise you the best prices, they promise you hassle-free delivery at your doorstep, and as I said, they also promise you genuine spare parts. Now let's get back to our video. Well, so inside the cabin of the new Hector Plus, and this car, the Hector already had a lot of features, so I don't have to tell you that this car also comes loaded with the best gadgets and gizmos. In fact, just think about anything and this car has it. You of course get a panoramic sunroof. You can use your voice activate commands to open and close the sunroof, but the best point is that the new car, the Hector Plus, now comes with a feature called chit chat, and apart from opening the sunroof, closing the sunroof, and changing temperature, you can chit chat with the system over here. So you can say things like this. Let me just give you an example. Hello MG.
I'm here.
How am I looking today?
You look amazing.
And get an ego boost instantly by doing this sort of thing. And this screen over here is the best in the business. It's placed like this, longitudinally, not horizontally, so it's very easy to navigate through, and you only get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons over here, which makes it a very easy place to be in. A lot of other cars get a plethora of buttons which can confuse you, but not inside the cabin of the Hector Plus. It is, as I said, the best system. It's as easy to operate as an Apple iPad, and really MG have thought of everything. The quality inside the cabin is very good. The top of the dashboard, the top of the door panels, everything is made from first-rate materials, and I have to say that the seats inside the car are very good in terms of comfort. They can rival the best in the business. They can rival the Tata Harrier, they can rival the Toyota Innova for sheer comfort, for sheer cushioning, and the support for the lower back is excellent. You get good bolsters on the sides. So overall, what I'm trying to say is that for quality, for features, for overall fit and finish, for a feel-good factor, the Hector Plus is a great place to be in, and I will give the cabin of this car a strong score of 10 out of 10. Now let's jump in the back seat and see how good they really are. Hi guys, so now I'm in the second row of seats of the Hector Plus, and of course, as you can see, this is a captain seat over here, and I have to say that in terms of seat comfort, these seats easily rival the best in the business, which is the Innova, and these seats really offer you great amounts of comfort, and the support for the lower back is very good, support for your under thighs is very good, and my for reference, if you haven't been watching my videos, is 5'10", and if you're 5'10", 5'11", if you're about 6, you'll have ample headroom, loads of knee room. In fact, knee room is one of the best on any SUV in the business, and really you won't need any more space than this. You also get a completely flat floorboard, which is a big boon, because if you're in the mood to just stretch out your legs and sit like this and you're sitting alone, you can easily sit like this or like this, and of course the driver's there, so you won't be troubled at all by anyone inside this car. An exemplary place to be in. And of course you can adjust these seats, you can adjust the backrest angle, and you can also take them forward in case you have someone tall behind you. And even when you take them all the way forward, you've got plenty of place even then for someone who is my height. So overall what I'm trying to say is that it's a great place to be. And before I forget, you also get a huge window and a panoramic sunroof over here, which means that the cabin never feels claustrophobic. It feels like a bright and airy cabin. And just like the front seats, I'll give the back seat of this car 10 out of 10. I don't think there's anything which you can find fault with inside the cabin of the MG Hector Plus in the back seat. Overall 10 out of 10. So here I'm in the last row of the Hector Plus, and the Hector in itself is a long car, and MG has added another 65 mm to the length of the car, which might not sound like a lot, but MG has managed to carve out a lot of space on the inside. And my height for reference is 5'10", and even for someone who's my height, these seats are quite okay, and surprisingly these seats are comfortable, because I thought that on most other cars, just like most other cars, this car will also be a compromise in the last row, but it isn't. And that's a good thing, because the seats are comfortable, the support for the lower back is good, the support is good for the under thighs. Yes, you sit a little low and your knees are slightly on the higher side, so they aren't as comfortable as the middle row, but even then, for people who are about 5'7", 5'8", teenagers and young kids, they'll be quite okay in these seats, even for the longest of long journeys. Overall, a nice place to be. You get your own AC vents at the back, and of course you can control them through these buttons, and you also get a couple of beverage holders and a 5-volt charging point over here, which really does add to the practicality. The sunroof is really the best part about this car, because it's a panoramic sunroof. It goes all the way to the back, and that ensures that the passengers sitting over here never feel claustrophobic, even on the longest of long journeys. Overall, a great place to be, and I'll give it a strong score of 9 out of 10. Well, so now let's talk about the boot of the Hector Plus. Now, the regular version, the Hector, already has a big boot. It's a 587 litre boot, which in itself is quite good, and this car with all rows up is 155 litres, which is decent because you can load in a couple of big bags. The good point is that there's no loading sill, so you can just slide in those big bags and take them out. You can easily load your golfing bag over here and go for that game of golf. And of course, if you drop the seats down, then you get that same impressive 587 litres in terms of boot space, and it's a flat loading area, so you can easily slide in and slide out the stuff. It's as big as you'll ever find a boot on any car. It's bigger than the Creta's boot, it's bigger than the Harrier's boot, and definitely bigger than the Seltos boot. Overall, a very impressive boot, and I think easily the best on any car across any price point. Another good feature is the fact that this is a powered tailgate, which means that you don't have to use your hands, so you won't tire yourself out. And you also have a very smart function, which is the smart swipe feature, which means that if you have the keys in your pocket, you can just come near the car, swipe your legs like this, and the boot will open up on its own. And that's a feature which is very useful for people who always carry something. They have a baby in one hand and maybe the baby stuff in the other one. Overall, a very impressive car in terms of features, boot space, as well as overall luxury cushion. Well, so here I am driving the MG Hector Plus. Now this car, remember, comes with the same diesel and the petrol engine that you also find in the Hector SUV. So there's no change over there. The same 1.5 petrol and the same 2-liter diesel. Now the diesel now is, of course, both these engines of course now are BS6, and with the new BS6 diesel, I think the refinement level has gone up a notch in the Hector Plus compared to the Hector. When you're driving this car on the highway, when you're really going up, doing speeds in excess of 100 kph, the cabin remains a very quiet place, and it's also very well cocooned from the world outside. There's no tire noise, no wind whistle, no engine roar, and that makes it a great car for long distance journeys. In fact, it's a great car. If you enjoy driving yourself, you'll truly appreciate this car, and that's because this car has very light controls. The steering wheel is light, the gearbox is light, the clutch is light, and even though it's light, it's quite accurate, and even though it's light, it has a good amount of feedback as well as feel. So if you take this car out on the highway, you'll never feel nervous driving this car, and you'll simply enjoy the experience on this car. What also makes the Hector Plus such a nice car is the very cushiony ride. At slow city speeds, it really absorbs the bumps quite well, and at faster speeds on the highway, it really does stick to the road like a leash. It feels very stable, very reassuring, and overall, I think as a family car, as a car which offers you good drivability, good refinement, as well as great power, I think this car ticks all the boxes, and it's a car that you'll truly enjoy driving, no matter if you're driving it yourself in the city or taking it out on that long distance journey on the highway. Overall, MG Hector Plus is a very strong all-rounder. It's a car which comes with 6 seats, not 5, and it also offers you a very classy cabin which is really rich with all the premium features. Think of any feature and this car really has it. It also looks very good on the outside. It really does look smashing, and I think if you're in the market for a 6-seater MPV, then you should definitely avoid the MPV and simply go ahead with the Hector Plus, because it is an SUV. It has that cool swag quotient of an SUV, and also comes with a refined set of engines, great ride comfort, and of course a long list of features I just said. Overall, I would give it a strong score of 92 out of 100. It's a great all-round package, and definitely I'll recommend a buy. It's bye for now, and thanks for watching.